How's it going, guys? Welcome back to the channel. It's Oceans Reviews here today. So today I've got another video for you. I'm going to be going over some of my favorite comfort films. So I had this subject bouncing around in my head for a while where I was thinking like, what's a comfort film? What classifies as a comfort film? And I feel like maybe most people would sort of like think more family orientated things and maybe like a low-key comedy type movie, but for me, my comfort film tastes sort of vary. Like they cover all genres. So yeah, I don't know, I just wanted to talk about some of the movies that I kind of find a comfort for, or they give me comfort, if that makes sense. And yeah, so I picked out a stack of movies from my collection that I essentially revisit quite often. I'd say I revisit these movies at least twice a year. So yeah, I flick them on no matter what sort of I'm feeling at the time, or no matter time of day. I can just watch them and enjoy them and sort of feel comfortable with these movies and just feel relaxed with them and have a good time with them. So yeah, let's get into this stack. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. So let's start from the top. I mean, this movie is quite self-explanatory, I feel like, for a comfort film. I think. I don't know, but yeah, that's Forrest Gump. So I don't know, for me, it's just the story. It's just easy to watch. It's so enjoyable to just go along with and enjoy. I mean, yeah, like what else can I say? I mean, Tom Hanks is probably one of my favorite films of all time, of course. So it's something that I definitely revisit quite often. But I just find a comfort from this movie just because of like the story, the narrative. It's sort of calming and soothing. The acting is amazing, and it's just an enjoyable film to get through. Like no matter, how many times I've seen it, I can just flick this movie on and just enjoy it and just have a good time with it. I mean, of course, it's like that for many people. I mean, because this is quite a common film that everyone's seen, I'd say. Or most people, I'd say. So if you haven't seen this yet, you need to watch it. But it's definitely a comfort film for me. Something that I can just enjoy. Like, just whenever I feel like I need to, I just flick this on. So that's the first movie from my collection, Forrest Gump. Now we're going to get into another one, The Great Gatsby. So I've mentioned that I really enjoy this movie before in a past video. I enjoy the story. I think it's just sort of relaxing, soothing. I like the music that's used in this film. I think it's really just enjoyable and comfortable to watch. I really enjoy the acting. Tobey Maguire in this is amazing. Also, Leonardo DiCaprio is really good as well. I sort of like how Tobey Maguire reads to you in this movie like he's reading a book almost, and I find that kind of soothing in a way. And it's just a movie that I can relax to. I feel like I can watch and not think about anything and just sort of enjoy it and have a good time. And yeah, it's a Great Gatsby. Even though there's like a few sort of distressing scenes in this, I guess. I don't know. I mean, the story, like some of the story elements are a bit sort of wouldn't be comfortable, but I don't know. Yeah, but that's, The Great Gatsby. Now we're getting into a film that's just, it's my favorite film of all time. And it's the movie that's in my top 10 list. It takes the #1 spot, and that is Catch Me If You Can. Like, I feel like I don't even know what I can say about this film anymore, to be honest. It's just like the story for me is really enjoyable. I love the cat and mouse sort of aspect about it. It's just a fun, enjoyable film to get into. And yeah, it's my favorite film of all time, literally. Catch Me If You Can. And I feel like this movie is actually more of Steven Spielberg's, one of his more underrated sort of films that I feel like not many people talk about, which is quite interesting. But it's a movie that I love and I just adore, and I think it's amazing. It's got two of my favorite actors in here. You got Leo and Tom Hanks. How could you not like this film? I love it. But yeah, as I've said before, it's just a film that I can sort of gel with really easily. Of course, being my favorite film, I can just flick it on any time of the day and just have fun with it and enjoy it. And then we got another film that's quite enjoyable, and I'm sure a lot of you guys know, and that is Ferris Bueller's Day Off. So, I mean, Matthew Broderick in this film is just amazing. I love his sort of personality. It's just so fun and energetic and just sort of, I don't know, calming in a way. He's just fun to watch on screen and just see what he gets up to, you know, in his day off. But I used to, like, it's kind of funny, like, whenever I was sick from school, I used to watch this. I used to watch this film, and it would just be fun to watch. Like, you know, Ferris Bueller's Day Off. I'd be sick from school, and I'd watch this film. But it's just such a light-hearted, fun film. It's so enjoyable, and I love it so much. Yeah, if you guys haven't seen Ferris Bueller's Day Off, I'm sure most of you have, but if you haven't seen it, I highly recommend it. I love it. So good. Now we're getting into one of my favorite comedies of all time. This is a film that I can watch it never gets old. Like, it never gets old. It has that much rewatch value for me. It's insane. And that is Wedding Crashers. I absolutely love this film. You know, Vince Vaughn, Owen Wilson, they're just so good. They have great on-screen chemistry. I just think they do so well with each other. They just go hand in hand. I really enjoy this story. I think it's fun. It's just enjoyable and it's comfortable to watch. And it's just a film I can put on any time of the day. And it's something that I could watch like more than 3 to 4 times a year. Because I just love it. You know, it's just so good. It's just so much fun. And the jokes never get old as well. Like the sort of the scenes in it, they just never get old for me. I find myself revisiting this one just very often. It's probably one of my most revisited comedies of all time. But yeah, The Wedding Crashers. If you guys haven't seen this yet, I highly recommend checking this out. But I know probably the majority of you have watched that already. Now we're getting into a film that's quite interesting. It's a horror film, but I find it just sort of, it has a lot of rewatch value for me. And that is The Conjuring #1, so the first film. Now, I've probably got a bit of explaining to do. It's like, Daniel, how is that a comfort film for you? How do you find comfort watching a horror film like The Conjuring? I guess it's just because like I really enjoyed the story. I think it has really, it's done really well, has great acting in it. I think it's a horror movie that has like a high rewatch value to it. Like it has a rewatchable value to it. It's something that I feel like you can return to. It's not like a trashy horror like movie that you just throw away. It's like a one and done. I could only say this, I think, about the first Conjuring film though. I feel like the second and the third one, they're good, but I wouldn't revisit them as much as the first film. And I find it just to be an enjoyable horror film that I can sort of switch on and enjoy at any time. And there's definitely other horror films that are like harder to get through, so hence the reason why like I wouldn't watch them so often and they're not really on this list. But the first Conjuring film I find has high rewatchable like value to it. It's just enjoyable. The acting is really good. It's just an enjoyable horror film that I can just watch anytime of the day, any time of the year. So that's the first Conjuring film I'm talking about. So yeah. Which is kind of interesting, I guess, but it's a comfort horror film, if that makes sense. I would like you guys to answer that question. If you have any comfort horror films in your collection that you just like to rewatch and enjoy, like, you know, no matter the nature of it, you know, I'd like to know. That'd be kind of an interesting topic. Now we got another film. This is a sort of a teenager coming of age type film, and that is 10 Things I Hate About You. This is definitely a comfort film. This is the just what a comfort film represents, I think, is this film, 10 Things I Hate About You. It's just so good. Like the acting in it's good, it's really fun, it's energetic. There's a sort of like a teenager American Pie-esque sort of story about it. That's a comfort film as well, American Pie. Yeah. But yeah, it's very similar to American Pie in some aspects. The story, like the story elements, it's a bit wacky. It's fun. It's just enjoyable, and Heath Ledger is really good in it as well. I mean, you know, I love Heath Ledger as an actor. You know, he's just great on screen. I think he's amazing, and yeah, this is definitely a film I would return to so often. Out of all like those sort of coming of age type films, similar to like this one, I'd watch this, or maybe like American Pie or something rather. You know, I'd definitely choose this over most. And this has always been an enjoyable film for me. Definitely a comfort movie, in my opinion. Now we're getting into another film. This one is just, I'm not sure, now that I think back on it, I feel like it's not really a comfort film, because there's some sort of story elements about it that are kind of, I guess, there's just some scenes in it, not story elements, there's some scenes in it that are kind of, I don't know, I guess, not really comfortable to watch, I guess. But I kind of like the story and the acting, and that's Rain Man. So this film, I watch it like quite often. So as I've said before, I'd watch this film maybe like, you know, 2 to 3 times a year, or even more than that in some cases. I just really like it. I love Dustin Hoffman's acting in this. It's just amazing. Tom Cruise is really good in it as well. And I just love the story and the journey they take. And it's just really enjoyable. Even though Tom Cruise sort of plays like a bit of a, I don't know, like, you know, he's not really nice in this movie. Like, he's sort of, the character he portrays is sort of really nasty in some scenes. But I think it's comfortable to watch. I really like this story, and I think it's fun, especially the like the sort of the casino scene is really good as well. But it's something that I could just pick up and watch, like no matter what, like whatever mood I'm in, I'm just picking up and watching this film. Probably my most comfortable Tom Cruise film to watch, I'd say, like out of his filmography. I just love this film. It's great. And then last but not least, we've got a film that everybody knows and loves, and that is Scarface. I absolutely adore this film. I rewatch this film so much, like just maybe 3 to 4, 5 times a year I'd watch this movie. I love it. Al Pacino in this is great. I love the era that it's set in. It's just great. It's just so good. It's such an iconic film, and it's a comfort film for me because I just flick it on and enjoy it, and I love it, and I just feel like really good watching it, and it's just always, I have such a good time like getting into this movie and experiencing it again. I wish I could just forget about it and then watch it again for the first time. Honestly, it's that good. I love it. I absolutely love Scarface. And yeah, it's a comfort gangster film, if you will, for me. So yeah, that slipcover though. I like this slipcover. But yeah, that's Scarface. Love it, love it, love it, love it. There you go, guys. That's just sort of a video idea I had. It sort of was a thought that was bouncing around in my head for a while. I thought, you know, I wanted to make a video revolving around this sort of subject. And I wanted to show you guys what my favorite go-to sort of comfort films are. And yeah, that's that stack. So yeah, my go-tos, like, you know, just at any time of the year, any time of the day, any time of the hour, you know, I want to put one of these films on and watch them, you know, no matter what I'm feeling. They're just comfortable to watch, and I love them. I would like to know if you guys have seen any of these films. I'd say most of you have seen probably all of these films, but what do you think of them? What are your comfort films? I'd love to know down below. Definitely let me know what your comfort films are down below. Are my picks weird? Is The Conjuring being in that list weird? Yeah, that's another question. Definitely answer that question down below. If you have a comfort horror film, if there's a horror film that you can just watch and then just enjoy no matter the time of the day or the month or whatever, it's just something that you love rewatching. I'd love to know. But there you go, guys. That's sort of like a little video, a little thought thing bouncing around in my head. I hope you guys enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.